All right, Gennady Golovkin versus Daniel Jacobs. Okay, look, I just listened to some other videos. I mean, I always like to go out there and, see what everybody else is reporting. Hang on, let me adjust my microphone. Okay, I like to go out there, listen to the other channels, hear the other side of the opinion. I'd like to hear people that I know are going to agree with me and disagree with me. And my God, these channels are awful. Like, I don't understand. I just went to a channel and watched probably the most boring video I've ever heard in my life. I mean, it's just, I don't understand it. The guy was just, like, talking, like, so lethargic, like, Daniel Jacobs and Gennady Golovkin, they're gonna fight, and, I mean, it's like that. Like, one thumbnail, and this guy literally put I mean, I was sitting at my table, I had my hand on my head, and, like, my eyes are getting heavy, and I'm like, I'm like, open my eyes, to get back to the video. Crazy. Like, I don't get it. And he had, like, 90,000 subscribers. 90,000! And I'm like, what the hell? Like, anyway, guys, okay, enough of that. All right, Gennady Golovkin, Daniel Jacobs. Okay, first of all, let me get you a little something here to look at, okay, while I give you my opinion on the current situation. How do I do it? 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 Goddamn, what the hell? Where is it? Oh, okay, yeah, actually. We're just going to do that. Okay, we'll give you a slideshow. Okay, so look, guys. First of all, no rematch at all. Okay, K2 Promotions, Tom Loeffler came out and said, this is it. It's a one-shot thing. Win or lose, winner takes all. One shot, no rematch. But if Gennady Golovkin somehow miraculously lost, I could probably see a rematch if Daniel Jacobs would grant it. But there's no way Golovkin's going to lose. I made one video about this already. I guarantee you, I even said I would shut my channel down if he loses. Like, there's no way in hell. I've got Gennady Golovkin winning by knockout or TKO, stoppage, whatever you want to call it. Probably at the midway point. Round 6, round 7, I don't know. Midway point, Gennady Golovkin will stop Danny Jacobs, okay? I mean, you got to think about it. We're talking about Daniel Jacobs, the same guy that got beat by Parag, and then, of course, the Latin snake Mora dropped him. Well, actually, no, let me back up. He did drop him. The first fight, which I don't even really think counts, round 2, the guy breaks his ankle. Jacob says, oh, no way, I'm not giving the guy a rematch. During the rematch, then Danny Jacobs beats him in a rematch, okay? But again, he got knocked down twice, once by Parag and once by Mora. And the thing is, I mean, that guy has no power. Like, go look at his knockout percentage. Like, there hardly is a knockout percentage. So, I mean, we all know Jacobs, he's got a questionable chin at best. I mean, this guy has a glass chin. He's kind of like, in my opinion, the Amir Khan of the middleweight division. He's just got that chin. I mean, some guys have it, some guys don't. I mean, every chin has a shelf life, okay? And if you have a lot of gym battles, a lot of wars when you're coming up into amateurs or whatever, I mean, every chin has a life. And I really do. I think his chin is shot. I think it's gone. And that's my opinion. So, no way he gets past Golovkin. Not going to happen. Okay, now, the press conference, I kind of wanted to mention that. They just had the first press conference at Madison Square Garden, and I heard there really wasn't a lot of press there. It was not open to the public. It was media only, credentials only, and from what I hear, it really wasn't a very exciting thing. I mean, they're not really they're kind of boring anyway. Actually, like, the UFC press events are a lot, they're just a lot more fun than boxing, to be honest with you. I've never been to a UFC. I've been to tons of boxing press events, but they just, it's kind of boring. But from what I heard, they didn't have a lot of media there. Like, there's not a lot of attention surrounding the fight, and I'd probably say the reason for that is because it's not the fight the fans want. They want Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez, okay? I mean, that's it. I mean, that's probably the reason, I would think. And just a reminder, Danny Jacobs, promoted by Al Heyman, of course, you know, so now we got Al Heyman working with Tom Law for K2 Promotion. That's actually a good thing. You know, both guys very respectful. Danny Jacobs, though, he looks a lot bigger than Golovkin. I was actually surprised by, you know, the size difference. So that's another thing I kind of wanted to point out, but you guys know this. But if you notice, it's his shoulders. He's got those odd-shaped shoulders where they're not, you know, they're not kind of squared off like a man, normal man. They kind of slope down a little bit, you know, kind of like a Y shape, like his head, like an upside-down Y. You know, he has kind of those kind of narrow shoulders, but he's a bigger guy than Golovkin. You know, and like I said, there's no way this guy's going down before the midway point. Now, another interesting thing I've learned, I've discovered, I've found out, and you know, passing it on to you guys, Virgil Hunter is being brought in to oversee the training of Daniel Jacobs and to offer, you know, pointers and to offer tips. I mean, why are they bringing Virgil Hunter in? I do not understand that. I was watching another video earlier today. I think it was like Hatman Boxing. I don't remember who it was, Hatman or somebody. I can't remember. I watched like every single video I could watch. And so that's what I heard off that channel. I mean, anytime I get any information, I will always like give credit to the source. I mean, 90% of the content on my channel is my own information and from my own people. So that's where I heard that from. So I don't know why they would have Virgil Hunter coming in to kind of oversee the training of Daniel Jacobs. I mean, that's a little bit odd in my opinion. And really, I mean, I am a boxing coach. I mean, I'm kind of like an amateur coach, but I got a few guys that I coach, and I wouldn't want some other guy there like undermining or overriding my advice. You know, some guy breathing down my neck, you know, correcting me what I'm trying to teach my fighter. So I don't understand that, and I think it makes for like a really uncomfortable situation, and I think it's incredibly odd, okay? Another thing I kind of wanted to touch on was the cancer. You know, we know Danny Jacobs just now overcoming cancer, and I'm hearing a lot of guys say, well, you know, he beat cancer. Of course, he can beat Golovkin. Now, look, my dad died of cancer in 2012. My brother nearly died of cancer in 2014, or the end of 2014, the beginning of 2015. So, you know, I'm very familiar. I brought my father to his chemo and radiation every day at the Veterans Hospital. Very familiar with cancer patients and cancer survivors, and you know, and I have a ton of respect for Danny Jacobs, you know, getting over that and beating that. But I don't understand why people are comparing cancer to Gennady Golovkin. You know, it's a medical condition versus, you know, boxing. I understand, you know, your mental toughness, your ability to overcome and get through a situation. And like I said, I've been through it actually 3 times, but 2 times on a very intimate personal level. And I don't understand why people keep making that comparison. It's just a little odd to me. But anyway, getting back to the other channels, okay. So, you know, if you go back like to 2014, 2015 probably, all I heard out of these other channels was how, you know, how Gennady Golovkin is ducking Danny Jacobs. And everybody said, oh, Golovkin, yeah, he's ducking Jacobs. Yeah, he's scared. He's running. But now the same, and you can go in their video catalog and go back about a year, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But now they're saying that, well, you know, it's a small step up for Golovkin, but a huge step up for Danny Jacobs. So it's like, wait a minute. You know, you just made a video a year ago how Gennady Golovkin is ducking Daniel Jacobs and he won't fight him and blah, blah, blah. But now all of a sudden, well, you know, it's really kind of a small step up fight, you know, I'm not going to give him a whole lot of credit for it. And I mean, seriously, it's like these guys forget that they have, like, everything they've ever thought and said is documented. So, you know, and as far as a step up, you know, I wouldn't call it that. But what in my opinion, what it does accomplish is that's a name out there that is mentioned whenever people talk about, well, who should Gennady Golovkin face? You know, it's your Danny Jacob, you know, your Billy Joe Saunders, your Canelo Alvarez, you know. So really, I mean, the name, I mean, who else is there? Like, these guys are running out of fighters, you know, to throw up in everybody's face and say, oh, well, he didn't fight that guy. Oh, well, he didn't beat that guy. Well, what about this guy? You know, so they're running out of the what about this guy guys, okay? They're running out of people. I mean, you have Danny Jacobs, Billy Joe Saunders, And who else? I mean, who else is there in the middleweight division? You know, Canelo? I mean, that guy is going to just keep running until, I don't know, man. He's trapped in a corner, kind of like Mayweather was with Pacquiao. You know, and really, not to get off subject, but I doubt we'll even get that fight in 2017, the Canelo Alvarez and the Gennady Golovkin. But, you know, I just wanted to give you guys a few of my thoughts on the fight. You know, I'm not too excited for it. Like I mentioned before, I think it's a Dominic Wade 2.0. You know, I think Danny Jacobs, he's one of those guys that, you know, he was a good fighter in the gym. He got hooked up with a promoter, had a couple big fights, you know, got hooked up with Al Heyman, and now he's in a position that, you know, he's very fortunate to be in my opinion. Because think about this. I mean, really, who out there knows who Danny Jacobs is? I mean, hardly anyone. I mean, the guy's, you know, primarily a Brooklyn, New York fighter. Yeah, he's kind of a hometown celebrity, but outside of Brooklyn, New York, and outside of a tight-knit community in Brooklyn, New York, no one knows who the hell this guy is. So actually, fighting Gennady Golovkin will probably increase his fan base, I would imagine. You know, so that's about the only positive thing I see happening for Jacobs, you know. So it's going to, now here's another thing I do not agree with, and I don't mean to sound so negative, guys, but this is really nothing I like about the fight, other than, you know, it gets us one step closer to that Canelo fight, or you know, maybe who knows, maybe a Andre Ward fight, but it's going to be HBO pay-per-view. You know, I'm really disappointed in that. I mean, look, the fight should be on regular HBO, so that way, you know, you got the casual fans out there, the crossover fans, I mean, that can be brought into boxing. So really, you know, the fact that boxing is such a just a unknown sport, you know, it has just like, I mean, if you look at the fan base of boxing compared to, you know, the NFL or baseball, basketball, or even like, you know, even maybe tennis. I mean, it's like, seriously, like I could probably compare it to tennis. I think a lot of the reasons for the unpopularity is because all of these fights are on pay-per-view. So really we have the promoter to blame, right? I mean, the fight should be on HBO, like regular HBO. And really, even like maybe like an ESPN or a Fox, I think all boxing should be available to the public. You know, you shouldn't have to drop down nearly $100 bill to watch a fight. I mean, honestly, that's why a lot of people are not boxing fans, because, you know, if you want to be a boxing fan, it costs you a fortune. Unless you do what we do and you're a member of a group and you have access, you kind of have a backdoor way to watch the fight. So, you know, I think it's a big mistake overall, you know, looking at the big picture, but I also think it's a big mistake to put it on pay-per-view. I guarantee you the fight will maybe do 300,000 pay-per-view buys. If it hits 400,000 pay-per-view buys, I will be completely shocked. And I guarantee you at least 70%, maybe even like 80% of the buys will be Gennady Golovkin fans, okay? I mean, really, how many Danny Jacobs fans do you think are going to tune in and drop a bill on watching the fight? Not very many. Okay, so, I mean, those are my thoughts. I mean, I just wanted to put out a quick video and give you my overall thoughts of the fight, and throw out a little information you probably haven't heard, like Virgil Hunter being brought in to work with Team Jacobs. I mean, that's kind of a big deal in my opinion. Like, what are they doing? Like, that's odd to me. That's very odd to me. But if you recall, I think it was it Virgil Hunter that went in to help Timothy Bradley when Teddy Atlas coached him for the third Manny Pacquiao fight. So, you know, maybe it's a situation like that. I don't know. I don't like Virgil Hunter regardless. I think he's overrated. It's probably one thing me and Floyd Mayweather agree on. And by the way, guys, the channel we are working on, we're going to get you a little bit of background music and like a widescreen picture. So right now, we're working on it, you know, so I'm not in a big rush. I mean, anything and everything you do on YouTube, like you're at risk for a copyright flag, you know, or for them hitting you with a copyright infringement. So it's like I'm terrified to do anything on YouTube because it seems like any video I try to make or edit or put together, I get some copyright notice, you know. So anyway, guys, in the comments section, please tell me, are you interested? I mean, who do you think wins? I've got Gennady Golovkin. I can't see it any other way. After this, maybe Billy Joe Saunders. I mean, wouldn't it be great if Golovkin could beat Daniel Jacobs, Billy Joe Saunders, and at the end of 2017 to tie that title defense record, or that not? I can't remember if it's okay, put it this way: if Golovkin gets Canelo at the end of 2017, he will tie the title, or Bernard Hopkins' title defense record with Canelo Alvarez. I mean, how great would that be in 2017 if he can get Jacobs, beat him? All right, get Billy Joe Saunders mid 2017, beat him, and then get Saul Canelo Alvarez at the end, beat him, and tie Bernard Hopkins' title defense record, his 21 title defense record in a row. That would be great. I mean, that would be one hell of a year for Gennady Golovkin. And like I reported in my other video, remember, they have a plan. Tom Loeffler and K2 Promotion, they have a plan. They want to move Gennady Golovkin up in 2017, up to super middleweight. And really, they even talked about possibly light heavyweight to finalize his career. Anyway, just like, share, subscribe, leave your comment below. Don't be shy. If you like us, you love us, you hate us. If you want me to shut my YouTube channel down, if you think I'm a complete idiot, whatever it may be, all comments are welcome. Counterpunch Boxing, we are out.